The first thing that hits you when you start up Valhalla is that sweet, lo-fi anime vaporwave aesthetic. It's a bit overdone at this point, but when this came out in 2016, it was still pretty fresh. And considering how popular Valhalla became, I don't think it's a stretch to say that it played a part in popularizing the whole 80s vaporwave / lo-fi anime aesthetic. Valhalla takes place in the year 2070X, a time of nanomachines, post-humanism, and self-aware AI. You live in Glitch City, a metropolis that's on the bleeding edge of technological advancement, meaning that you'll see all sorts of crazy sci-fi madness, including, but not limited to, androids, catgirls, brains in jars, a very radical Shiba, and the girl that literally invented OnlyFans. You play as Jill, a woman working at a bar named VA-11 they just call it Valhalla, where she meets these eccentric characters. And it's through Jill's interactions with these patrons that you experience the story and learn about the world. Depending on who you talk to, you can get many different opinions and perspectives on things that happen throughout the story. You may not see these events firsthand, but you can kind of form a picture of what happened through multiple accounts. This not only informs the player about what's going on, but it can also provide some insight into a character's personality and backstory, as people's worldview is usually based on their life experience. In between conversations, patrons of the bar will usually ask for drinks, and this is where the bartender action part of the game comes in. You have a total of 5 ingredients, only one of which is actually alcoholic, ironically enough, and you make different drinks depending on how you mix them together. You can then shake, blend, age, or serve a drink on the rocks. If a person knows what they want, it's as simple as following the recipe and serving them the drink. But sometimes patrons aren't sure exactly what they want. Or they're just trying to be sophisticated and edgy by giving you a vague or cryptic order, in which case you have to try and find a drink that suits their taste. And if you're really perceptive and pay attention, you can actually serve drinks that will change the course of a character's story. You can unlock extra dialogue, cause different patrons to come into the bar, and even unlock character-specific endings. Or you can just spike people's drinks with a crap ton of alcohol and just get them completely wasted. There isn't too much depth to the moment-to-moment gameplay, but it does offer a nice break from the conversation, and it doesn't mess with the chill vibe. It may be labeled as a bartender action, but this isn't like the Devil May Cry of bartending. As cool as that would be. You can also control the music, so if you like a set of songs, you can just cue them up in the jukebox and have them play throughout your shift. The music plays a huge part in establishing the tone, so you can kind of tailor your own experience, whether you want to kick back with the chill vibes, or maybe get more of that hard sci-fi dystopian edge. There are some serious bangers. Some of my personal favorites are Meet the Staff, Every Day is Night, and Snowfall. At the end of the day, Jill gets paid and heads back to her apartment. You can spend your hard-earned cyber shekels to customize the walls and furniture, as well as buy extra decorations and music at the store. Me, being the fashion god that I am, ended up buying one too many slut shirts and wasn't able to pay rent, which not only got me evicted from my apartment, but also made me get the bad ending on my first playthrough. And by bad, I mean that Jill gets to spend a steamy lesbian night with her big titty, bombshell bestie, Alma. As you can tell from this very tasteful exchange, the game also has a really good sense of humor. Like, there's so many funny scenes and great moments that they honestly make for some of the most memorable parts of the game. Now, for anyone who hasn't played visual novels or has a limited knowledge of them, I understand if this can sound kind of boring. Like, yeah, you aren't some detective solving a mystery or participating in a death game. No, you're just a bartender. But that's what makes Valhalla so unique. You're pretty much stuck at the bar, watching as fleeting moments of people's lives pass you by. You usually don't get the full picture of what's really going on, but depending on the drinks you serve, people can be inclined to tell you more about themselves. Getting them pissed drunk can sometimes net you some interesting results, but serving a drink that makes them reflect on themselves as a person can usually offer you a better look into who they actually are. A lot of times, people may think they know what they want, but you have the choice to give them what they actually need. And that's a theme that resonates throughout a lot of the narrative. You may not be changing the world in a profound way, but changing the lives of a few people can be just as substantial, and this eventually even applies to the main character, Jill. Finding your purpose in life and struggling with your place in the world is something that I feel most people go through in some way, shape, or form, and seeing someone as cool and stoic as Jill slowly reveal her past and insecurities is honestly pretty eye-opening, and it just makes you feel for her. And this is an aspect of the game that really surprised me. Cause at first, Jill seems like a total badass, always super calm and professional, even with the most obnoxious and degenerate customers. But as you see her interact with different characters, you get to see her personality and quirks shine through. Like how despite seeming so mature, she can't help but laugh when someone orders a bad touch, or how she kinda loses her professional demeanor when talking to her boss, Dana, or her coworker and fuckboy extraordinaire, Gillian. You really feel like you get to know Jill as a person, from the little quirks to the defining aspects of her character. And considering that she lives in this crazy dystopia with all these extraordinary people, Jill is surprisingly down to earth and relatable. She struggles with things like identity, she feels lost and unsure of her purpose in life, she gets emotional and makes mistakes, but through the small interactions with people at the bar, she eventually becomes friends with those who care about her, and who change her life for the better. It just goes to show that something as simple as a drink can light the spark that ignites hope for the future. Sukeban Games made something really special with Valhalla. From the writing, characters, music, aesthetic, and sick references, it shows that they have a genuine love and passion for making games, and that they're proud to take influence from the things that inspire them. And Valhalla isn't even their only game. There's also a free spin-off called Valhalla Kids, where the entire cast goes to high school together, as well as the actual sequel, Nirvana, where you play as a new protagonist in a different bar. Valhalla is only like $15 on Steam and a few other platforms, so it won't even break the bank. And for anyone who wants to give it a shot, get ready to mix drinks and change lives. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a great time revisiting this game after so long, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, whether you've already played Valhalla or if you're planning to get it. It's a great entry point into a pretty niche genre, so if you've ever been curious about visual novels, Valhalla is a great place to start.